Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, May 22nd, and it is the Friday preceding Memorial Day weekend. Normally in Maine, this would be the kickoff of the summer season. This year, there will be no annual Memorial Day parade, which is a quintessential part of Kennebunkport summer season. But just like the Who's in The Grinch Who Stole Christmas learned, you can't steal Christmas and you can't steal Memorial Day. As they do each year, the American Legion will still mark all veteran graves with American flags, and they will lay a wreath at the monument in Dock Square. We plan to record this ceremony to share with all of you, but ask that the public stay home so that we can maintain physical distancing and safeguard our veterans. There are two other events you can participate in, though, this weekend. One is the barbecue, hosted by the American Legion Post 159. On Monday, the Legion will turn their parking lot into a barbecue drive-through, starting at noon and going until they run out of food. They will be serving pulled pork, sausages, cornbread, beans, and coleslaw. There is a limit of 4 meals per vehicle, and there is no charge, but donations are accepted. The second event is hosted by the Kennebunkport Fire Department. As many of you know, each year they host a Memorial Day pancake breakfast before the parade in tribute to the veterans. Each year, 100% of the donations that they collect are given to the town's Public Assistance Fund. This year, they want to continue to honor our veterans and to raise money for those in need. They are inviting you on Memorial Day to take part in the virtual pancake breakfast and consider making a donation to our town's Public Assistance Fund. Details on both of these events can be found on the American Legion Post 159 and the Kennebunkport Fire Department's Facebook pages. Meanwhile, the town continues in the midst of a reopening plan. Town Hall opened this week, and I'm pleased to report that we had a couple of successful days of operations. Please remember that we are still offering all necessary processes online or through the mail. People should still consider physical distancing, and we are more than ready to help you through the mail, our drop box by the front door, or email. If you need help, please contact our customer service people, Tracy O'Rourke, Audrey Williamson, and Rose Wills, and they are ready to help. In accordance with state guidance, our offices have limited occupancy. Only 2 people are allowed in the offices at a time. Traffic is one way, entering from the ramp at the front of the building and exiting out the steps by the Planning and Codes office. When you come to Town Hall, there are sanitizing stations both at the entrance and at the exit, and we ask that you use them in order to safeguard yourself and town staff. We do require that the public wear face coverings when they come to Town Hall as per the governor's order. If you are unable to wear a mask, if you are a member of a vulnerable population and are concerned about exposure, please contact our town clerk, Tracy O'Rourke, and she will help and arrange a private appointment for you. The Planning and Codes office and Finance admin offices are still closed to the public, but we are handling requests for service via phone, email, and Dropbox. We will be meeting with people by appointment only. One reason for appointments is that we have limited space in the building to maintain physical distancing. Secondly, we are required to track all public encounters for contact tracing purposes. Should an individual test positive for the COVID-19 virus, the CDC will ask us to contact everyone that we may have encountered that day with the person who was tested positive. Please remember that these measures are done for public health and safety reasons, and so if staff asks you for a contact email or phone number, that is the reason why. Colony Beach is open again. Please remember that physical distancing standards still need to be maintained in order for us to continue to maintain open public spaces at this time. A week ago today, we opened 39 parking spaces at Goose Rocks Beach. Parking is currently only available for Kennebunkport residents and taxpayers. We are asking people to display a 2019 or 2020 resident seasonal sticker. I have received reports that the public is noting vehicles with out-of-state plates and with no stickers. Please know that our police department are patrolling the area and monitoring vehicles. They have the ability to check registrations and confirm whether the owner has a property in Kennebunkport. This is taking place, and they will continue to observe and monitor the situation. Starting this weekend, we will have a community safety officer out on the beach, weekends only for now. This is much earlier than we normally would have staff on the beach, but think it is important as part of our reopening plan. We will bring back additional community safety officers later in June in accordance with normal operations. Parking will continue to be phased in as the summer continues from June to July. The selectmen, the police chief, and I will continue to observe the beach, and parking could be restricted again if circumstances warrant. As always, note that physical distancing is so important to beach operations this year. Remember to keep 6 feet of physical distance between yourself and other households, and keep household groups to 10 and under in accordance with the governor's orders. Dock Square parking lot has been open, but it will begin charging on June 1st this year, and our hopes are to have the public restrooms open at the same time. The state has given direction to allow restaurants and retail to begin opening on June 1st. These businesses are working diligently to amend operations to address guidance from the state to safeguard employees and the public. Much of these regulations require the limiting of people in spaces, maintaining physical distancing, the wearing of face coverings, and sanitation and hygiene protocols. The town is partnering with businesses to address ways in which they can use outdoor spaces for dining and retail to tackle physical distancing requirements and create a healthier environment for customers. Please do your part and support our local businesses and comply with any new rules as they are being implemented in an effort to protect us all. Public meetings will continue through the virtual platform Zoom for the month of June. The Planning Board will have their first Zoom meeting on Wednesday, June 3rd. The Zoning Board of Appeals will meet on Monday, June 8th. The Board of Selectmen will continue to meet according to their regular meeting schedule. To see what items are on the agenda, please visit the town website, kennebunkportme.gov, and click on the agenda minutes box on the front page. Staff is taking additional measures to get documents and plans on the website so that people can review these items in advance. We are really encouraging written comment in advance of these meetings in order to ensure all voices are heard in the process. I have received a fair amount of feedback regarding virtual meetings and how many people enjoy the ability to participate in the public process electronically. I am very appreciative of Michael Davis and David Powell, our AV crew, who has been the backbone of ensuring public meetings have gone smoothly, and I can see that a number of people are using this process to stay engaged. I want to let people know that the ability for our boards to meet virtually is only allowed through emergency legislation at the state, and this allowance will terminate 30 days after the state of emergency expires. We will need at some point to go back to in-person meetings and votes, but we will look at how we might incorporate electronic media to continue as much public participation as possible. I will now turn it over to Chief Sanford to review some important information.
Good afternoon, Kennebunkport. For all those veterans out there and the folks that have members that are veterans and gave the ultimate sacrifice, we appreciate your service and again recognize those folks because it's duly appreciated. The Kennebunkport Police Department is open. The lobby is open just for emergency purposes and for drug take-back. If you pull up front, you'll see some signage out there. Please pay attention to the signs. We are no longer issuing permits, burn permits in person. Those burn permits will either be done via phone or online, and currently the weather conditions do not permit any burns at all, so be safe. I was asked to review the requirement for face coverings. So face coverings are required specifically if you're going into a grocery store or drugstore, some location where you cannot maintain social distancing of 6 feet or more. This also includes any area outdoors to open to the public. You know, I've gotten a lot of complaints about folks walking outside and somebody is not wearing a face covering. So again, I think the best policy is to always have one with you. Like it's been said before, make it part of the equipment you go out with, your keys, your cell phone, things of that nature, and you've always got it with you because you never know when you're going to need it. It's important that we do that to protect everybody. Social distancing is another important factor. Colony Beach, on the sidewalks, in the parks, at Goose Rocks Beach. Those areas are important, and if this weekend will be a good measure on how folks are going to help each other out and be safe. So if we can maintain that, then maybe these restrictions will get loosened up even quicker, but it's important that we all work to that goal. There's limited parking at Goose Rocks Beach. There's 39 spaces there. They're only for taxpayers of Kennebunkport and residents. You need the 19 or 20 resident sticker. We are down there, and I know as of today, I issued a couple of tickets myself. So again, folks, make sure that you're abiding by that. It's adequately signed, and it's also on the blinking sign down there at Goose Rock, Kings Highway and Dyke Road. The 14-day quarantine, that's another big issue. If you are coming from out of state, you are required to quarantine for 14 days. That means inside. That means that you have to come to the state of Maine with your supplies to stay inside for 14 days. Unfortunately, on these nice days, that's horrible. But it's a requirement to keep everybody safe, and the only excuse is to go to the doctors or to leave and not come back. So again, please maintain that, and if you find that somebody is violating that, please give the police department a call and we will go in and look at it. It's important that on such a weekend like this, it's typical to see gatherings of more than 10 folks. We've got to stick by that, 10 folks or less. It's important, keep everybody safe and keep everybody out of trouble. So again, make sure that we're abiding by that. CDC guidelines, it's important that we wash our hands, that we cover coughs, that we stay at home if we're ill. That's an important thing. You know, most folks will take a little bit of cold medicine and move on, but with COVID-19, you can't do that. You've got to stay home and keep yourself segregated from other folks. It's important. Maintain your social distancing between yourself and others. Very important. I just wanted to let folks know that because it's a holiday weekend, there'll be extra patrols throughout the state. So again, be safe, pay attention to your driving, and don't drink and drive. We don't want anybody to get hurt. And the most important thing is to be patient and be kind to folks. We're all gonna probably expect to let loose a little bit, but again, let's be safe, be smart out there, and enjoy ourselves in the warm weather. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Sanford. As I have said in the past, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So where are we in the marathon? Are we at Heartbreak Hill yet? The honest answer is, I don't know. You see, we are running the marathon in the dark on an unfamiliar course. Every once in a while, I see a glimmer of light, and I think I might have a clue. But the reality is, I don't know. We have to keep watching out for signs that will guide us in the right direction by keeping our senses alert and listening to our gut. What I do know is that we need to keep running on unfamiliar trails in a strange, dark forest for the foreseeable future. That's scary. Humans like the familiar, and this is the exact opposite of that. So what choices do we have? We could try to find our way back through the woods to the old course, the one that was well worn with decades of use and so familiar, the one where all our old memories were made. That course is strewn with rubble and lost in dangerous new growth that will threaten us should we return. We could hunker down right where we are and refuse to go forward or back. That plan is the new familiar. Social distance, stay home, don't do anything that could endanger you. We could take that tack, but in the process, we will lose more. And how long can any of us survive in that place? The third option is to create a new path, one that is based on our new understanding and knowledge, one that is flexible and ever evolving, one that balances physical health, mental health, and economic considerations. This path requires everyone to be responsible for the well-being of all. It requires us to innovate and adapt. And like all paths, it will be intermixed with good times and sad times. I am choosing the third path. I have never been one to hunker down, but rather to move forward to the best of my ability. I believe that when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Well, it is pouring lemons. I'm doing my best to engage everyone to help make lemonade, lemon pies, lemon poppy seed muffins, citrus chicken, lemon poached artichokes, limoncello. You get the idea. I'm hoping that with the combined effort and talent of everyone, we are going to find new memories, new ways to connect, and the ability to stay physically and mentally safe. We all have our bad days, including me. I miss my extended family. I miss the vacation I didn't get to take. I miss the laughter that used to come so easily to my children instead of the heavy cloud that seems to surround most days. I'm saddened by so much that sometimes it can be overwhelming. So I take the moment or the day I need to grieve, and then I get up the next day ready to walk the new path, the path that will lead us out of the woods together. I hope that you will join me on the path and that one day, in the not too distant future, we are standing together in the sun again. Be well, be safe, and do your best to enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.